Hey there, everyone. I hope you're doing good. Thank you so much for joining me. So, today's reading, we're doing The Person in Your Mind. What are their thoughts on you? It doesn't have to be romantic, it can be a platonic connection as well that you're asking about. So, we do have three groups. We have group one, the rose quartz, group two, the rainbow moonstone, and group three, the pink tourmaline crystal. Okay, so what are their thoughts on you at the moment or in general? All right. But if you do want to take a moment to choose your group, feel free to pause the video, but I will see you in your readings. Hey, welcome. Hope you're doing good. If you've chosen the first group, the rose quartz, and this reading is for you. So, the person on your mind, what are their thoughts on you at the moment or in general? We'll see. So, at the moment, their thoughts on you are that you do seem kind of lost, in their perspective, when it comes to your purpose or your career or your job, or they, in their perspective, they feel like you've come to like some kind of like standstill in terms of your progression. They do think you could have lost yourself a little bit, or maybe you're just different from the person that they used to know. Maybe you've changed a little bit in their perspective, but they do think things are quite stagnant for you, and you're kind of just living your life day by day, like one foot in front of the other, with no real plans for the future, at least that they're aware of. They do think you are trying to change them, but that you find it hard to change them, but you could still be trying to. They could think that you're afraid of them or you don't fully trust them as well. And again, like in their perspective, they do think you are on the wrong path, even though they think your life seems comfortable and you seem content with kind of how you're living your life, the way your life is going. For some reason, they think you could be on the wrong path. So they don't think you have a lot of excitement in your life either. They don't believe you want to leave your comfort zone, the things that you're used to, because they kind of perceive you as having a fear of what's on the other side of your comfort zone. Maybe losing control of certain people or certain areas of your life. But they do think you are being held back, either by someone. For very few of you, though, they could think you're being held back by yourself. So they could think you don't want to travel with them, you don't want to go out with them, or maybe don't want to make any plans with them at the moment. They could also think your resources are kind of strapped too. They could think that was clarified by the Ten of Wands straight away. So they could think you are struggling a bit. I mean, this could be more than just like financially, but they do think you could be struggling financially as well. They may think you've received some bad news. And I don't know if this would be considered as them having like contradicting thoughts on you, but they also think you feel free, you know? So in their perspective, they think like you could be doing more, or that things are stagnant for you. Whereas they kind of think in your perspective, you're quite content with how, things are for you, and that you feel free, you feel liberated in some way, They think that you don't live up to their expectations or other people's expectations, or you just don't care to live up to what other people think you should be doing, or, stuff like that. it's like even though things in their perspective aren't sunshine and roses, they still think you live your life to the best of your ability, even though they kind of perceive you as having these restrictions. At times as well, they do think you see through them, and they think of you as someone who does empower other people. You help other people find their strength, their backbone, you know. Mm. So yeah, they do think you help people see things in a more realistic way at times. Um, yeah, yeah, they do think you open up people's eyes. Like they could think you're good at that. They could think you're good at being maybe objective at times. And again, like this does seem like a bit of a contradiction. But they also think you're not afraid to face your fears. So yeah, they do have quite a few conflicting thoughts about you. But they do believe, like when push comes to shove, you're going to face things head on, you know? I'm just gonna pull a few more cards, but I'm gonna, yeah. What are they thinking about you? All right, so the first card we have is don't look at anyone, don't talk to anyone. What does it say on the back? You need some alone time. So for a lot of you in this group, they could think you need some alone time. Maybe they think you do like to spend quite a bit of time by yourself anyway. But yeah, for a few of you, for some reason, they do think you need to keep to yourself. They could think you need to keep your distance from them or someone in particular, depending on like the person you're asking about, you know. So we also have stop whining. So for a lot of you, they do think you have changed in that regard. Like in the past, they could have felt like you were maybe emotional, or you know, you spoke about your problems a lot. I don't want to say whining, but yeah, that could be the case for some of you guys. Like that's how they perceived you in the past, whereas they do perceive you as more like self-controlled now. We also have you eaten? You're acting like a big ass baby. What are they thinking about you? So for some of you, they do think you need to eat more, but please only take that one if it resonates. For some of you, they could think you get cranky when you're hungry. So we also have persistent. What are they thinking about you? So for some of you, they do think you're quite persistent in a way where you may not let things go quite easily. We also have proud. So they do think you're quite a proud person. Not necessarily in a way though where you're like kind of like proud of yourself, but maybe they think you hold yourself to certain standards, like you take pride in yourself, who you are, maybe your home or the people you care about, but they do think you're quite proud in some way. Like this could obviously be something that you are more aware of. We also have mean. So they think they don't treat you nicely. You know, they do think they're kind of mean to you. Or they think they're off with you. It feels like they recognize like some of the maybe harsh or negative ways that they have treated you. But they could also think like that's just who they are. Like they kind of see it in a way where they kind of think you should just deal with it, you know? And finally, we have worried. So for a lot of you here, that was clarified by the Seven of Swords. Like they do think you could feel concerned about their intentions. Like they do think you don't fully trust them. Like they do think you could feel worried or nervous when you're around them too. But anyways, that is all I have. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's all I have for this group. I do hope it could be helpful and resonate or not. Bye. I'm wishing you the best. All right. Take care. Bye. Hey, welcome. I hope you're doing good. If you've chosen the second group, the Rainbow Moonstone, then this reading could be for you, all right? So we have the Eight of Wands and we have the Empress in reverse, both in reverse. Oh, okay, so the person on your mind, whether it's platonic, romantic, whatever, okay, they think that you have a lot of energy, but you're not able to kind of like let it out or express it or kind of, you know, yeah, just let it out in a way that maybe you would like to. So yeah, they don't think you have as much freedom as you would like to have. They do think you're funny and they think you both have a great time together. Like they think you both get along, or you would get along depending on how close you are with this person. But for a lot of you, like if you already know this person, then they feel like you guys get along great. Like you're so funny in their eyes. Like they don't think you get the chance to be like as spontaneous as you would like to be. They do think you're patient. They do think you're kind. They do think you are a bit cautious when it comes to them, but they're not thinking this in a way where like they think you don't trust them. It's more as like just that you have a bit of a guard up when it comes to them. They do think you move slowly when it comes to making a decision. Like they do think you like to take careful consideration before making decisions. They do think of you as being this free-spirited person, open and just like entertaining. Even though they do think you're guarded at times, they do think you are quite open in a lot of, instances as well, where they assume you to be open, like behind the guard that they kind of perceive you as having. But they do think you know your mind and no one would be able to change your mind or control you or to influence you and how you think and what decisions you might make. But again, like not in a stubborn way at all. It's just in a way where they kind of think you know what's best for yourself and they know you know what's best for yourself, So they do think you are prone to missing opportunities at times. They do think you like when people romance you, do nice things for you, treat you, put you on a bit of a pedestal. They definitely think you like that. They think you're calm and as cool as a cucumber as well. They do think you're both obsessed with each other and that you both have a lot of chemistry. They definitely think you like to be taken care of though. They don't think you lean into your femininity. They don't think you take advantage of your femininity. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but they don't think you kind of lean into it as much as you could. Especially in order to like get favors, like they think you could definitely use your womanliness to get your way, but they don't think you do that. They definitely think you are more logical and they think that they are the more sentimental one in the relationship, or they would be the more sentimental one. They do feel quite sentimental about you already. They do think, how do I put this? So yeah, they do think you aren't as vulnerable as you may seem or as people may perceive you. Like for a lot of you, this person could think that people could view you as this damsel in distress, but like they don't see you like that. They definitely don't think you're as vulnerable as even you make out to be, or as people kind of want to perceive you to be. But they do think that you like to be nurtured, and at times you can be self-interested as well. They may think you didn't get enough love growing up or get enough attention or just not in a healthy way. So they could think that's kind of like had an effect on you. Especially when it comes to you maybe being self-interested. And for some of you here, they could think you don't plan on being a parent. They see you as very confident, but they do think you try to like hide and suppress your feelings as well. Yeah. I'm just going to get some more cards. I need to get some more decks, but I just don't know. What are they thinking about you? So the first card we have You Care Too Much. So at times they do think you care too much about other people's opinions. Maybe other people's lives. And they could think that they are kind of moving in a direction where they do think they are, like they do care about you a lot. They could think they care about you more than you care about them. Or they think like that's the direction you guys are going in. Where they kind of think they're the ones that are kind of doting on you more than you dote on them. So we also have you are talented and amazing. So this message is for those of you who's maybe not pursuing a talent right now, but they do think you have like a lot of untapped potential. You know, they do think you have like a talent locked inside of you that you're not pursuing yet, or maybe not interested in kind of pursuing a specific talent, but they do think you have a lot of potential that you're not exploring. We also have whatever you're thinking about, don't do it. So with this card, bottom line, they do think that you're going to do what you want to do when you want to do it. You know, like you don't really, like if someone tells you not to do something or someone suggests that you do something else instead, like they definitely think you're going to do you regardless of what this other person might say, what they might say, you know. We also have simply genuine. So they do think you try to be the best person you could possibly be. Like they do think you do try to like be a good person or have good intentions and to be genuine. So yeah, they do think you're trying when it comes to that. We also have cautious. Yeah, so they do think of you as a cautious person. I think that message came up earlier as well. We also have competitive. So I feel like that ties in with them thinking that you aren't exploring anything or pushing yourself or taking something up, a challenge or a talent. But they think that you should be more competitive. They don't necessarily see you as competitive, but like they do think you have it in you. But maybe they kind of just think that's like just not your cup of tea, you know, not something that you want to explore or the energy that you want to be in. And finally, we have relaxed. Yeah, but they do think you are a super relaxed and chilled out person. They also do think that they feel quite relaxed when they're around you as well. But that is all I have for this here group. I do hope it could resonate, be helpful. But I'm wishing you all the best, all right? Take care. Bye. Hello, welcome. If you've chosen the third group, then this reading could be for you. The person on your mind, what are they thinking about you? What are their thoughts on you at the moment or in general? So I would say they do think you have a lot to juggle. They don't think you like it. They don't think it's easy. They don't necessarily think it's hard for you either. But they do kind of think you just get on with it, you know? They do think it could be overwhelming, but they don't see you as being overwhelmed. Like they could say like, oh, if that was someone else, I know they would give up, or it would be hard for them, or if I was to do what you're doing, then it would be hard for me. But yeah, they don't see you as like breaking a sweat or anything like that, you know. But yeah, they kind of just think you are a good and stable person. They think you are well off. They think you make them look at themselves a bit more in a way where it forces them to be more realistic or more introspective. But they could think you have that effect on a lot of people. They don't necessarily think you do it intentionally either. They do think you are considerate. They think you are composed, well balanced. They believe you're great with money and like their perspective and what they've seen or what they've noticed. They do think you're adaptable. They do think you have experienced a lot of hardships, difficulties, ups and downs in your life, in your past specifically, but they definitely see you as being more stable now. They do think they need to hurry up and make a decision about you. This could be a decision you are more aware of, but for others of you, it could be about potentially moving forward with you. They think they need to kind of decide, you know, what action they may take next. So they think you're smart, you know, they think you're knowledgeable about a lot of different things, but also see you as very wise as well. And if this is someone you aren't very close to yet, they think you could be in a relationship possibly. They definitely could think you have ties to another person. You know, for some of you, they could think you're in a very important relationship, but not in a romantic way. They could think this person not necessarily influences you a lot, but they do think you have a strong tie to this person. And they could feel like this strong bond you do have will make it hard for them and you, or them potentially moving forward with you or coming to a decision when it comes to you. Yeah, so they are kind of like unsure about the future between you both, what that may look like. They do think of you as a flexible person. They don't think you mind like giving people allowances at times or allowing people to lead or to like make decisions. Like they don't think you are like stubborn, if that makes sense. Yeah, so they think you don't mind being a little bit flexible. They do think you are organized. They think you're generally just a well put together person. And in their eyes, you're always so composed as well. They think you're strong, like this dude. Uh, oh my god, he's lifting weights with his foot as well. I didn't even notice that. And lifting up this here barbell at the top. So they do think you're quite strong and strong like the giraffe as well. But anyways, they do feel like there's a lot you can handle. They do think you lead a fun and exciting life. They do think you like to travel or experience new things. And they think you've already managed to accomplish big things in your life, you know. They definitely think you are more concerned about your future than your past. Like they definitely think you're looking forward, not looking backwards. And they also think you do have a lot of respect for yourself as well. And they see you as very humble too. So they do see you as hardworking, and for a lot of you, they do think you deserve the best out of life. They do think you are creative as well, possibly an artist, especially if they don't know you very well yet. But they do think you could be very talented in some way, even if they're not sure in which way you are talented. I'm just gonna get a few more cards and then wrap it up. What are they thinking about you? I'll take that one. Mm-hmm. All right, so the first one we have is that project, that person, that idea is waiting, get after that. What are they thinking about you? So they do think you take advantage of a lot of the opportunities that are presented to you. They do think you are an opportunistic person, not in a way where you're like kind of stepping over other people, but definitely in a way where it's like you are ambitious. Would that be the right word? Yeah. So we have this little lightning bolt for this, the second card, and it says figure stuff out on your own on the back. So they do think you're good at coming up with plans. Like they do think you're good at managing your life. That was clarified by the Magician and the Emperor. So they do think you are very good at like figuring stuff out, making shit happen, you know? So they do think you are very strong. Like they definitely think you know yourself. They know what you want. And they think you aren't afraid to like go after what you want as well, you know? But they don't necessarily think you're impulsive. They definitely think you make smart moves, you know? And we also have stop obsessing. So they think that they need to stop obsessing when it comes to you. And it could come back to that message that came out earlier about them thinking that they do need to finally come to a decision about you. That could be something that has been playing on their mind. But yeah, they definitely think they need to stop obsessing and maybe like take more action when it comes to you as well. Do you have more from this? Oh, it came out again. So this card came out before, but I put it back because it came out with like 2 or 3 other cards. So yeah, so they do think you are very modest. Like that was clarified by the 9 of Pentacles as well. So they do think you are like high value in some way, either in the way you carry yourself. It could be also in how you present yourself as well. But they also think you're very modest about your achievements and yeah, about your awesomeness. That was clarified by the world. That's so dope. So like maybe your achievements even. Okay, so we have competitive. That was clarified by the 5 of Wands. Let me put this here 1 second. So they do think you're competitive. Yeah, they do think you're competitive. Or they assume you would be competitive in like certain environments. But they don't see you as like aggressively competitive though. Even though the 5 of Wands did come out, they don't kind of see it as being like aggressive or anything like that. We also have disrespectful. So for a lot of you here, they do think people or a certain group of people or a specific person has been unnecessarily hurtful or disrespectful towards you. But they think you brush it off. Like, they think you are completely unbothered, you know? Like, they don't think you, like, do you know, if someone's being disrespectful, like, you could be aggressive, you could be, you know, in this person's face or whatever, you know? But they think the way you deal with it is, like, so, like, chill, a bit classy, you know? I don't know if classy is the right word, but like that's the only thing I could think of. Like, it's like if you get revenge, you're not going to do it in like this big overt way. Like, they definitely think you're more smarter about things. Like, they definitely think you're quite, yeah. It's like, I'm going to deal with it, but I'm not going to make a fool out of myself. You know, like that's how they see you. And finally, we have frugal. So yeah, for some of you, they could think you're frugal. I mean, they do think you are good with money. So they definitely maybe think you save here, or, you know, you are cost effective when it comes to like certain things as well. So yeah, they do think you are financially smart for sure. Clarified by the 10 of Pentacles, you know. So yeah, they do think you're frugal, but not in like a bad way or anything like that. Just in a smart way. But anyways, that is all I have for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful, resonate, make sense. But I'm wishing you all the best, alright? Take care. Bye.